I haven't turned it on yet. It's a webcast. Do you see anything on this page? Are you sure it's Buddhist?
All right, so we're about to start, and I have muted everyone as they enter. And Kim, you're muted. If you could unmute yourself.
Could you quickly send me the Zoom link again so I can send it to the presenter from the Wesley Food Bank? That would be so awesome.
Kim, can you do that? Kim?
Kim. Yes, I will send it now.
Great.
Thank you.
And Annie Wu is a co-host who is muted, but you can unmute yourself whenever you need to.
Who I'm sending the link to, Galen?
Yes.
Galen.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Okay.
So everyone, I just want to announce that you've been muted on entry. We're going to start in a moment, and you can unmute yourself if you need to speak. But mostly this event is very interesting presentations rather than discussion or anything like that. So you probably won't need to unmute yourself, and it's helpful to keep the background noise down. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Good morning. Is it morning there? No, yes, it's still morning there. I'm in Seattle. So hello, everyone from the West Coast. My name is Carla Prater, and I'm one of the volunteers for Buddhist Global Relief. As many of you know, for over 10 years, we have gathered each year for our walks to feed the hungry.
I'm sorry, Carla.
Mhm.
We need to wait for a few minutes.
Wait a few minutes because more people are
Yeah.
coming. Okay.
Yeah, the
Well
Zoom
then.
link. I'm so sorry, but the Zoom
How
link.
long do you want me to wait?
Until I get the Zoom link to everyone, I'll let you know
Okay.
as soon as that happens.
I sent it to 4 more latecomers this morning, so
Good.
we'll hope everybody gets it. But you know, it is what it is.
Carla, I think we're also waiting for Venbo Bikubodi, right?
Okay.
And Kim, could you send it to my galengodwin@gmail.com address? That's the only one I have access to over right here.
Okay, so
So
let me
nice.
make sure, Galen, that's the.
Or Royce, perhaps you could send it to me?
I'm sending it now.
So I'm sending it to you, Galen, and Joy as well.
Thank you so much.
And Galen, should we make the representative from Wesley Food Bank the co-host as well?
I don't think that's necessary, no.
Well, they will be talking at some point, so we might need to. I don't know
Okay. If
if they
need
have a
to,
presentation, if they have slides or anything.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Okay, Mioke will be joining us in a minute or less.
Bhikkhu Bodhi is here. Welcome, Bhikkhu Bodhi. Very nice to see you. So we're waiting for Miyoki, I believe.
Good afternoon, Bante.
I had some trouble finding the link.
Mhm.
Oh, we have 26 people. That's great. Should we go ahead and start and just assume Miyoki will be joining us?
She is
I think
joining. She's a co-host, so I think it would be
Yeah.
great if we waited for her.
Yeah, we would need to wait for Miyoki.
We just spoke on the phone. She's getting set up.
Okay.
These are the challenges of Zoom.
Mhm.
We can all follow our breathing for a few minutes.
This is a new technologies for all of us getting.
That's correct. Nice to see you, Kim.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much for all your effort.
Oh, it's a pleasure and honor. I'm going to give Bishop Miyoki a call.
She just came.
Yeah, she just
Oh,
came. I
good.
just admitted her.
Okay, good.
Great, wonderful.
We don't see her. Okay, now she's come.
There she is. Now, thank you all so much for your patience. And now, Carla, we're ready to
Okay, everybody here, or at least everybody that's going to come right now. Maybe some people will join us later, which would be lovely. The more the merrier. That's the good thing about Zoom. It's infinitely expandable. So welcome to our event for this morning, hosted by the people in Houston. As you know, we have gathered for over 10 years here at Buddhist Global Relief at different locations around the country for our Walks to Feed the Hungry, where we come together to raise funds to support our work and relieve the suffering caused by hunger and poverty worldwide. Now, these walks have been fun ways to meet other BGR supporters and spread the word in our communities about BGR, as well as raise funds to support our mission. And like many other organizations, we have needed to make some changes in our operations due to the COVID-19 pandemic. One big change we have made is moving most of our fundraisers online. And we are very happy to have you join us in this virtual space. In addition to the need to move much of our lives online, this pandemic, which continues to ravage lives and livelihoods around the world, is also fueling a hunger crisis across the US and globally. Hunger is one of the most devastating secondary effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's having depressing effects on economic activity, but really it is causing increased starvation even. Globally, the pandemic's causing an estimated 10,000 additional deaths among children every month. An estimated 550,000 children are suffering from wasting caused by extreme malnutrition. The Anti-Hunger Foundation Feeding America estimates that the COVID pandemic will result in 10 to 17 million more Americans experiencing food insecurity, in addition to the estimated 37 million Americans, more than 1/10 of the population, by the way, who experienced food insecurity before the pandemic. In response to this hunger crisis, we have provided more than 54,000 to support food banks and food distribution centers in this country, and funded an additional 2,100 in emergency hunger relief internationally this year. We gather today to raise more funds for BGR's hunger relief efforts, and we will hear from some of Houston's Dharma leaders. We'll also hear directly from a few of our organizations that we support, our partners in the good work. Their representatives will give us a peek into the work your donations support. And also a representative of a local food bank will tell us about the needs they are meeting in Houston. And finally, we will hear from the founder and chair of BGR, Venerable Bhikkhu Botti. As Dharma practitioners, we understand that all lives are interconnected and that our well-being is not separate from the well-being of all. Our generosity to those in need is an expression of the living Dharma. We hope you enjoy this brief time we have together and come away with an increased understanding of BGR's work and a renewed desire to help us help those most in need, wherever they may be. May all beings share the benefits. Now I'm going to turn it over to Myoke Kane Barrett, the Bishop of Nichiren Shu's Myoken-ji Temple there in Houston, and Galen Godwin, the Abbot of Houston Zen Center, also called Auspicious Cloud Temple. And thank you very much for hosting this event for us.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to engage in this with you. And I see several friends from previous walks. I see Barbara Homan from Jade Buddha, and it's so exciting. Many other people are here from other temples in Houston. Okay, we've just got Jade Buddha, Myoken-ji, and Houston Zen Center represented. So, and we have been doing this walk for 8 years. So out of the 10 years that Buddhist Global Relief has been organizing these walks across the country, we in Houston signed on 8 years ago, and we love it. So part of what we've been able to benefit from in the past is just the opportunity to gather on the front lawn out there, our lovely front lawn, and mingle together, our various temples, seeing each other and the members being convivial. Some temples come and they all have on a t-shirt identifying their temple. Then we walk 1.5 miles down our beautiful Houston Esplanade, and with our big banner, raising awareness and raising funds to feed people. So it really is a great thing. And as you all know, I think 100% of the funds that we raise go to Buddhist Global Relief. All of it goes to Buddhist Global Relief to fund the many wonderful programs that they do. And that organization is really impeccably run. Its overhead is extremely low. So it's a great organization to support. And then I think it's 5%, a percentage of that is, depends if it's a big fundraiser, then that's a lot. If it, whatever, a percentage is donated back to a local food-oriented charity here in Houston. And we've chosen many things over the years. It's a different one every year. We've done Food Not Bombs. We've done the Grace Methodist Food Pantry. I can't remember, many wonderful things. This year though, it's the Wesley Food Pantry, part of the Wesley Community Center. And they are doing amazing work right now because it's an emergency in Houston. And one of the parts of the Buddhist Global Relief educational effort that I've learned from is that is how extensive food insecurity is in the United States. So many things are funded around the world, but the United States also has a tremendous problem with food insecurity and poverty. One of the things I'd like to bring up right now during my Dharma reflections, that was my Buddhist global relief reflections, but in terms of the Dharma, when I think about Shakyamuni Buddha's life, when he left his palatial family home and chose to become a wanderer and a seeker and a monk, and then eventually people started following him. When I
We lost.
Galen, we lost your voice.
Somebody muted me. Thank you, Buddha, for giving me my voice back. The Buddha did leave his palatial surroundings, but lately I've been thinking about it as the Buddha leaving a situation where he couldn't see the truth. And I think right now in our extremely divided and polarized country, it's possible that people are isolated within webs of untruth and misunderstanding, and the truth can't get through the barricades of their social media or the barricades of their privilege. So they can't actually see the problems in the world. So Buddha chose to go out and see the problems in the world, and that's what we're doing. We want to see clearly. We have a story in Zen about the world honored one, Buddha. The world honored one got up on the teaching platform, and said nothing. And then he got down, and Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of wisdom, we say in Mahayana, struck the gavel and said, "The Dharma of the Dharma King is thus, clearly observe." So that's one of our Zen stories, but for me, the notable phrase there is clearly observe, clearly observe. And our life together as Sangha members is about this clear observation, supporting each other to see clearly, and then coming together to help each other deal with what we see and take appropriate action to meet the things that we've all seen. So it's going to be beautiful a little later when we hear from the two programs that are funded by Buddhist Global Relief, what they see and how they respond to what they see. So again, thank you so much for joining this action together. It means the world to me. Thank you. And now my Dharma sister, the Bishop of Myokinji, Bishop of North America, Myoke Kane Barrett.
Good morning. Thank you, Galen. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
My reflection this morning is from a Chinese poem. The Dharma body of Kuan Yin is neither male nor female. If even the body is not the body, what attributes can there be? Let it be known to all Buddhists, do not cling to form. The Bodhisattva is you, not the picture or the image. Chapter 25 of the Lotus Sutra clearly outlines the many roles that Kuan Yin or Kanzeon can assume. But what is clearly shown for the most part is the compassionate action and the value of it and how it is able to save the world. You know, there's the statue of 1,000 armed Kannon or Kuan Yin holding different implements to show the vast array of skill sets that are available to Kuan Yin in order to help when the cries of the world are heard. And compassionate action itself is a skill. It's a way that we all can take on the role of the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin and actualize the embodiment of the Buddha's loving compassion for all of us. And it's something that we can all develop very deeply. And it arises out of our wisdom to understand the connection that we share with all living beings. And sometimes it's difficult because our view is very narrow from what we have been taught from the beginning. To be selfish, to be judgmental, all of the things that we are trying to cast off when we practice Buddhism. And in this particular time, it's incumbent upon all of us to be able to cast off the shackles of our narrow vision and the narrow teachings that were given to us by people we loved and trusted. Also given to them by people they loved and trusted. And our greatest gift for ourselves is the ability to understand and use our wisdom to practice compassionate action, to really embody the teachings of the Buddha. And as Galen said, to observe closely, because we tend to walk around in the world as if our own small space was all there was. And a greater vision, as seen by the two partners that are here today, will allow us to open our hearts even further and to make more concrete the skill of compassionate action, as we are able to see what the small things that we do here can be shared throughout the world. It is with deep gratitude and anticipation of being together with all the friends around the globe who are able to participate in Buddhist global relief, and especially our dear friend Bhikkhu Botti, who has been a great leader for this event, a great leader of compassionate action. And I must say, I've never seen a place where he's been that he has not stood up and shown his wisdom and embodiment of the Buddha. So it's deep gratitude that I share with you the events today. Thank you.
Now we are going to mindful movement period with Henderson Smith, if Henderson is available. Henderson Smith is a participant at the Houston Zen Center, Auspicious Cloud Temple. Are you there, Henderson?
He will be here at probably 12:04. He teaches a lot of Tai Chi.
Okay,
And
so, oh
so
dear,
he'll-
it's,
yeah.
Okay, I have 9:57, so it's, yeah, okay. Okay, well then, if we want to move on to a mindful Dharma reflection by Bhikkhu Bodhi, and then after that, we can go back to Henderson Smith if he has arrived. Is that all right with everyone?
He won't be able to stay late, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry.
And I defer to your preference as to what you want to do next, okay?
I would like to hear from Barbara Homan from the Jade Buddha Temple about how things are going over there. If that's okay.
Okay, well, it caught me by surprise. I just sent a message to you, Galen, that I work at the Rothko Chapel and I have to leave shortly, but I will follow the program while driving via my iPhone, audio only. So in regards to Jade Buddha Temple, yeah, we have been closed since March of this year, kind of the first one who closed everything, all programs, and I kind of miss my Sangha, my temple. However, we do have the English Dharma group meets every Sunday for an hour. And matter of the fact, Galen, I invited Galen to be our speaker one Sunday in November. So I think it's wonderful to see the collaboration between, our different temples. And our speaker today was speaking highly about Zen Buddhism, by the way. So we are meeting every Sunday for meditation and a Dharma talk. Several of us also meet Saturday mornings to study Bhikkhu Bodhi's book In the Buddha's Words. And it's a combination of meditation and then a study on the book. And we take turns, people facilitate chapters of your book, or perhaps sometimes just little paragraphs, because there's so much content in that book. So that keeps the, for the English Dharma group, kind of the Sangha alive. the contact is missing, but it's nice at least to see each other, via Zoom. And I'm so happy to see Annie here on the call, Annie Wu, who has been such a champion for Buddhist Global Relief, and the amount of money that she has raised for this event today is just like, oh, I'm in awe. Okay, so there comes my little tiny amount. And so Annie is just awesome. So yeah, that's what I would like to share. And so great to see Bhikkhu Bodhi
Yeah, thank you.
and everyone else. Thank you for listening.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
Perhaps we still have a few minutes. Perhaps Annie could speak about her efforts.
I think it's my honor to be able to participate in this event. And I always feel like sometimes as a Buddhist, we practice meditation and we try to do good things, but because we live in America, right? So it's very easy to forget. There are so many people especially in developing countries, they are, not as fortunate as us. They even cannot fulfill their basic need, like food. So don't bother, they can practice Buddhism. And this year, in the past, you guys have a wonderful website. I created my own team and I'm raising a fund. And this year, I got some kind of idea from one of my friends. And I feel like in the past, my fundraising goal is also like $1,500 only. And this year, because of pandemic, and I say I want to double the amount. And because I know some people, they may lose their jobs, so they cannot even support themselves. So I kind of make a vow, say, if people cannot support so much, I will donate the difference. So for sure, I will meet the goal. And I have lots of generous supporters this year from all different communities. Besides J Buddha Temple, I also go to this another Zen Center in the Zhongtai Zen Center, Houston. Anyway, so the generosity I received this year is really amazed me. And before in the past two or 3 years, they may donate like $150, but this year they all double, triple their donation amount. So in the end, even my goal is $3,000. I only need to donate like $280 because everybody was so generous and they inspire me. And I hope because I make a vow also inspiring everybody too. And I really use this chance to kind of remind myself how fortunate I am and I will help others. Yeah, so hope next year we can also have some fun, really do the walking. Yeah, thank you.
I am in awe. Annie, you are now my teacher. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. I'm so inspired by that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That is wonderful. Is there anyone else from Jade Buddha who'd like to speak today? M? No? Okay.
Henderson Smith there yet?
I don't see his name yet.
Okay.
He's joining now.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what Henderson has for us. We had a lovely session last time in this period of the event. So I'm sure every place we have an event, it's going to be different. And I'm really interested to see what Henderson offers to us today.
Well, it's my delight to introduce Henderson Smith, who is a highly credentialed Tai Chi and Qigong master and has several programs of teaching wellness in our community here in Houston. And probably his reach extends far beyond because of Zoom. but he is an amazing teacher, and he has taught a lot of classes here under the roof of Houston Zen Center, also at the Rothko Chapel, where Barbara is probably on her way over there now, and all over Houston, and encouraging wellness. So welcome, Henderson. Thank you so much for joining us. I think you're going to have to unmute at some point.
Okay, I'll start that over again. Thank you very much for having me. Humbled and grateful to be here. Hopefully I will be able to offer something of value to you all. Thank you for what you're doing, feeding the hungry. There is no greater gift that one can give than to come to the aid of his or her fellow man, genders not being specific in this regard. I'm sure that you guys have been sitting for long enough, and maybe we'll get up and just get a little bit of movement going since we can't actually walk. If someone will maybe keep a little bit of time, I don't know, I think maybe I have 10 minutes. I could set an alarm, or somebody can just wave at me when 10 minutes is done.
I'll let you know, Henderson. This is Carla Prater, and I'll let you know when you're getting close to your time, okay?
Thank you so much, Carla. I appreciate it. Just kind of flail around a bit and
okay, I'll do it.
hopefully get that. So if everyone would find their way to a standing position. I'm going to ask you to start by just simply turning at the waist. And as you do this simple thing, this simple mechanics of mind moving body, I want you to start tuning in mindfully and bring your awareness to the physical part of you, the substantive, material version of your human existence, the packaging in which your mind and spirit or energy, or what the Chinese refer to as qi, resides. And bringing your mind's conscious present moment awareness to your body, notice your feet. And without looking, tune your mind's attention to each toe, the inner edges and outer edges and heels of your foot. And feel into all of the little muscles that are engaged in maintaining your balance upright. And notice now the skeletal structure of your body, the bones supporting all of the flesh and internal organs. And then realize the connective tissue between the joints, allowing you to turn and twist. And then feel the joints, ankles and knees, and hips and shoulders, where the neck meets chest. And notice whether your arms and shoulders are relaxed enough to let your hands hit your body. And if it does, feel the little impact tremor that comes from that small touch right at the waist or hips. And now as you're mindfully attuned to your physical being, begin to notice your breath. And as soon as you hear the mention of breath, the fact that your conscious attention shifts to breath, you tend to breathe in a little deeper, a little more intentionally, a little fuller. And begin to watch the breath in and out. Notice the pace and rhythm of your breathing, the capacity of your lungs to expand and contract, and feel the experience of filling with this life force energy and releasing and softening, and let your body soften with each exhale. And now that you're mindfully attuned to your body and your breath, bring it slowly to a close. Just let it come to a close. And attend to 3 parts: the body aligning, feet, shoulders width apart, grounded and feeling your feet. Skeleton aligned, vertical axis established, relaxed muscle structure over the top of your skeleton. And we're going to begin to utilize the mind, body, and breath in combination with intention. So I'm going to ask you to move your body using the energy of your breath. So inhale your right arm up and exhale, floating it down. Inhale your left arm up. As if your whole body is filling with breath. This is not a muscle movement. Let the breath release out of your body as it exhales down. And then both arms inhale up and exhale down. Feel the breath release. Feel your body soften. Again, inhaling up and exhaling down. Now, directly in line with your body, inhale to your right. Push your hips left. Let your shoulders relax to the ground. Let your hips release. Let your face muscles relax. Exhale slowly to center. Inhaling now to your left, your hips pushing right. Both arms and shoulders releasing, hips relax. Neck and shoulders release. Space between the head and shoulder expands with your breath. Exhale slowly back to center. Move a little more slowly. Inhaling again. Feel the vertebrae separate. Feel your breath filling that space, that interstitial space between the discs, and then releasing, much like an accordion. And one last time. Leaning again, filling again, expanding, opening, relaxing, and releasing back. Now inhale the hands up, open at the chest, arch your back, fill with breath. Exhaling, squeeze the fists together in front. Squeeze the shoulders and forearms. Squeeze the hips and legs. Squeeze the feet and face. Press all the breath out of your body and then open again, inhaling. Much like you're cleansing a dirty sponge, fill with this life force energy and then releasing, squeeze out toxicity. Press out tension. Squeeze out disempowering beliefs and limitations. Inhale and open, expand, fill. Exhale, squeeze and press. This time, make a big circular motion as you inhale. Exhale and float down. As if you're dipping into a pool of life force energy. Inhale up your center. Rotate your hands, press to the ceiling. Really expand your body and stretch the shoulders apart, the elbows. Drop the shoulders down, hands up. Feel the spine expand, hips, knees. Exhale and float down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Beautiful. Let the shoulders lift with your inhale. Exhale and sink. Move as much of your body as you can, inhaling. And release. Then reverse that, big inhale. And release. Now inhale to the waistline. Rest your hands as you exhale and bend at the waist. Inhale around to your right. Go all the way around what might be considered your vertical axis evenly, slowly, using the breath to provide a lubrication and release in front. It's okay if you take more than one breath. Roll one more time. Long inhale all the way around. This practice in the realm of Qigong and Tai Chi is called silk reeling. And now we're going to reverse that. Long inhales all the way around. And release. So as to maintain a balance, we're going to take that around once more. Now roll up with your inhale. Bend at the knees, exhale. Pooch at the buns, let your head hang. Inhale and roll yourself up so head and neck are last to rise. Bend at the knees, release your breath. Okay, good deal, I got it, thank you. Bend at the waist, release the breath. Inhale and roll up. Beautiful. Sink, shift your weight, step in. One long inhale to gather energy from the earth, biosphere, heaven and space. And with your mind's intention, move your breath through the crown of your head. Feel it smooth its way through your face and neck. Rejuvenate and revitalize your internal organs. Release and relax through the hips and legs. Envision opening the palms of your hands and the bottoms of your feet to release that breath. One last inhale with your shoulders rolled back. Exhale, relax. And just to make sure we get rid of stagnation, shake out the hands, check out the arms, check out the shoulders. Use your breath and go. Make that sound. Go to the feet and shake them out so that your feet dangle, your thighs jiggle, and your glutes wiggle on purpose. Pop out the hips a little bit, go up the spine. One last long, deep breath in. Exhale slowly and soften your body. Align the skeleton, relax the muscles. Notice your breath. And just let yourself be present in the moment for a second. Just a second of time to notice yourself and what you've been able to accomplish with your mind, body, and breath, acting in collaboration. Deep bow of respect and appreciation. I say right hand, power, left hand, compassion. Deep bow of respect and appreciation to each of you. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
Thank you, Henderson. That was really meaningful and just what my body needed right now. Next on our schedule is someone who really needs no introduction. We all know Venerable Bhikkhu Botti, the founder and chair of Buddhist Global Relief. Bhikkhu?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. And first, I want to begin by thanking my friends from Houston. That's Galen Godwin and Bishop Myoke. From, on the one hand, the Houston Zen Center, on the other, the Myoken Buddhist Temple, for instigating and organizing and coordinating this online BTR gathering today. Actually, towards the end of last year, I had the thought, and I shared this with some people in Houston, that I would come to Houston this fall for the walk to feed the hungry. But at that time, when I made that comment, I had absolutely no foresight that we would be locked down under the conditions imposed by this pandemic. And so we have to hold this event online. But I thank everybody for turning out and participating, both the organizers and everybody who has joined today. And also I have to express my appreciation to Kim and Carla, who have put in, and Mary Helen also, the three of them have put in so much work organizing each of the online events, including this one. Yeah, when we held the regular walk in New York City, we held it in Riverside Park. And usually we would come as we're coming to the end of the walking path, the walking area that we've selected. We come to Riverside Church. This is around 120th Street in Manhattan. And that is the church where Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. gave his famous speech, A Time to Break Silence, in which he spoke up against the Vietnam War. And in that talk, he includes some words which have always resonated deeply in my mind. He says, a genuine revolution of values in the final analysis means that our loyalties must become, he says, ecumenical, but I would replace that with universal rather than sectional. Every nation must now develop an overriding loyalty to humanity as a whole. This call for a worldwide fellowship that lifts neighborly concern beyond one's tribe, race, class, and nation is in reality a call for an all-embracing and unconditional love for all human beings. This is now an absolute necessity for the survival of humanity. I particularly am drawn to that expression that what we need is an all-embracing and unconditional love for all human beings. And I would say that it is this that underlies the work of Buddhist Global Relief. So even though we have a specific focus, particular mission, which is to address the problem of chronic hunger and malnutrition, that mission, what underlies and drives that mission, is that urge, that sense of necessity to develop and to express an all-embracing and unconditional love for humanity. And using the Buddhist expressions, we would say that that all-embracing universal love is what we mean by karuna, by compassion. But under present conditions, I've grown a little bit tired, to speak frankly, of the constant Buddhist, I call it the rhetoric of compassion. So what I do is to qualify compassion with an adjective, conscientious. What we need is conscientious compassion. And conscientious compassion means that we not only feel for the suffering of others, but we are ready to engage in action to promote the genuine well-being, happiness, and security of others. So conscientious means that we transform the moral ideal which underlies compassion, the ideal of acting for the benefit of others, that we give actual expression to that ideal, that voice of conscience that tells us that we cannot truly be well unless everybody else is well. We cannot really be happy unless everybody else is happy. We cannot really be secure and safe unless everybody else is safe and secure. So that is the most general, I would say the most broadest sense or expression of the mission of Buddhist Global Relief. But we have to go down to the fundamentals, and we see that what is the fundamental condition for any kind of happiness, well-being, and security is, in the most elementary degree is to survive. And what is necessary for survival is food, nutrition. And in fact, this is exactly something that the Buddha himself says. There's a sutta in which the Buddha uses a numerical framework. He raises the question, what is the one? What is the two? What is the three? I think it goes up to 10 items. And he starts off with, what is one? The one thing which is to be constantly reflected upon, contemplated, and penetrated. And you think that that one thing he would say would be what? The law of karma, or nirvana, or something like that. But rather he says, what is the one? The fact that all living beings are sustained by food. And so for people to survive, what they need is to eat. And to eat, they need food. And so our way of expressing that conscientious compassion, or that all-embracing love for humanity, is by ensuring that people receive the food that they need to survive and to thrive. And I know this from my own personal experience. I mentioned this in an article that I had published recently on the lion's roar. This goes back to my first years in Sri Lanka. I came shortly after I arrived in Sri Lanka. The country went through a very, very difficult period economically, and the temple where I was living in the countryside was a very poor temple. And so the food provided at the temple was very, very poor. And you could have poor, inadequate food a few days, a week or so, and you get through it. But this was going on month after month, to the point where I found it difficult to meditate, difficult to study. We get the main meal of the day is at noon. We finish that meal. It gets digested by 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In the Theravada tradition, we don't have dinner. So by 3 o'clock, the meal is digested, the hunger is setting in, and I'm thinking for the rest of the day about the arrival of breakfast the next morning. And I could feel, as I say, the cells of my body actually crying out that we are deprived, we lack vitamins, we lack the minerals we need, we lack the nutrients that we need. That's, I could actually feel that cry coming up from the body. And so I can understand, I don't want to compare my situation then to that of the poor people and maybe in some countries in Latin America, South Asia, in sub-Saharan Africa, but I could well understand that situation when the mind becomes so listless that one doesn't want to do anything because all one could think about is food. And so when we provide food, especially to children through these school meal programs and in other ways, this enables children first to nourish their bodies, but nourishing the bodies is not the end point, but enables, when the body is properly nourished, then the mind becomes full of enthusiasm, eagerness to learn. It becomes more agile, more capable of undertaking projects, fulfilling one's aims, achieving real happiness and fulfillment in life. And so the starting point, the foundation, which we make our basic mission, is to provide food to the needy. But we also have another side to our mission, and that is because people not only need to survive and to thrive physically, but also to thrive mentally, to unfold their capacities, to realize their potentials. So the other side of BGR's mission is to promote education, and particularly the education of girls and the vocational training of women. Because when people are educated, when they have the vocational training that they need, then they can unfold and realize their potentials, then new horizons open up in their life. So some of these girls in our projects from the poorest stratum of society receive school meals at school, receive food aid to further their education. And once they go through their education, some are going on now to college and universities and are studying to become doctors, nurses, businesswomen, social leaders, community leaders. That is all made possible through the provision of food assistance to promote and to serve the end of education. This past week, actually just about 2 or 3 days ago, there came a news item that filled me with a lot of happiness. Do you know what that news item was? Carla is shaking her head, she knows. The Nobel Peace Prize this year was given to what? Not the president of the USA, though he craved it very, very strongly. It was given to the World Food Program, from the recognition of the role that provision of food aid serves in promoting peace. And I think it was 2 days ago, I think it was Friday, today's Sunday, Friday, there was an interview with David Beasley. He is the executive director of the World Food Program, an interview with him on the PBS NewsHour. And he said that in recent years, the number of people on the brink of starvation had risen from 80 million to 135 million. That is in recent years. But with the onset of the COVID pandemic, the number is now doubled to 270 million on the brink of starvation. And he says that this is the worst humanitarian crisis since World War II. And then he said that what is needed to serve to provide relief to all of these extra people who've now been thrown into near starvation conditions because of the pandemic, what is needed is an additional $5 billion. But when we consider, it might seem like a lot of money, but when we consider how much money does the US spend on its defense budget, do you know what the figure is? Something like $700 billion. So just $5 billion out of a budget of 700 billion, such a small fraction. And how many billions are billionaires made on profits during the time of the COVID pandemic lockdown? Many, many billions of dollars. So all it takes is $5 billion. We ourselves, BGR, we're a very, very small organization compared to the World Food Program, though we've assisted the World Food Program in providing relief especially to people who are struck by emergency situations, the Rohingya people in the camps in Bangladesh, in the Syrian refugees, and people in Yemen and South Sudan. We've provided emergency donations to the World Food Program for those purposes. But on the whole, we could provide just small grants and donations to partner organizations that are helping small numbers of people emerge from hunger and malnutrition. But still, every life that we save through our work, every life that we ennoble and give people a chance to unfold their potentials, to realize their aims and aspirations, that itself should be a cause for rejoicing, for rejoicing. This is what we call mudita or anumodana, for rejoicing in our own good deeds and for the good deeds of everybody who's contributing to the purpose of this organization. So on that note, again, I want to extend my deepest thanks and gratitude to Galen and to Moke for coordinating and organizing the gathering today, to Barbara from the Jade Buddhist Temple, where I've spoken several times in the past, and to all of you who have joined us this afternoon. And thank you all again for participating.
Oh, thank you, Botti, for that inspiring word. You know, I live in Seattle, and maybe I should call up Jeff and say, hey, Jeff, $5 billion, write us a check. I mean, he could do it theoretically, but you know, I know that's not going to happen, but it is.
He's in Seattle.
Well, this is where he started Amazon. So that's, you know. Now, Kim Bien, are you unmuted? Oh, Kim, you need to unmute yourself so that you can let us know who is going to be speaking next. We have 2 treats coming up, and we've had a sneak preview, so you guys don't know the good stuff you're going to see now. Kim?
Thank you so much, Bante, for the inspiring talk. I would like to use this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to Galen and Miyoki for organizing the Houston Buddhist Action to Feed the Hungry, and very honored to meet all the venerables today and Dharma friends. Before I introduce our precious partners, I would like to give a brief overview of the mission of Buddhist Global Relief, which I believe Bante has gone over in a lot of details as well. For 12 years now, Buddhist Global Relief has been working relentlessly to combat hunger and malnutrition in poor countries around the world. We provide food aid to people afflicted by hunger and malnutrition. And while we keep hunger relief in the forefront of our mission, we also realize that one of the toughest and most persistent roots of poverty is the lack of education. So our goal is to provide long-term education to children, especially girls, as well as livelihood training to women, so essential in the fight against poverty. And at the same time, we also support sustainable farming programs for small-scale farmers, many of them women as well, so they can provide for themselves, their families, and sell the extra in the market. Our projects take place in countries of Southeast Asia, to India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, African countries of Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, Cote d'Ivoire, South and Central America, Haiti, and here in the US. We work in partnership with organizations on the ground in those countries, some large, some mid-sized, but most of them are small grassroots organizations, and you will be hearing from 2 of the organizations today. In 2008, Venbo Bhikkhu Bodhi established Buddhist Global Relief, a nonprofit charity organization, and we started out with 3 projects. And through the generous support of our donors and supporters today, we sponsor over 40 projects worldwide. So we're very, very privileged today to have 2 of our partners joining us, Trees That Feed Foundation and the Art Creation Foundation for Children. Our first partner that will speak will be Trees That Feed Foundation. And I'd like to share the mission of Trees That the missions of Trees That Feed Foundation is to fight hunger and malnutrition by planting fruit trees that feed people, create jobs, and benefit the environment in 12 countries around the world. BGR has been partnering with Trees That Feed Foundation since 2015, and our projects provide breakfast meals to children at 10 separate schools in the rural areas of Haiti. We are very fortunate today to be joined by Mike McLaughlin, co-founder, secretary, and treasurer of Trees That Feed Foundation. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Kim. I hope everyone can hear me. And we have a few slides that we'll take everyone through. You know, this already has been one of the most inspiring hours, I think, of my life so far. I hear about the mission of Buddhist Global Relief, and it's almost identical to ours. We started originally being concerned about the environment. So my wife, Mary, said, you know, we ought to be planting more trees. So we thought about that, and we said, well, let's plant fruit trees because that's good for the environment. But guess what? Fruit trees feed people. And so we, you know, in the face, there's some skepticism about climate change, even nowadays with all the evidence facing us, you know, the hurricanes and droughts and so on. There's still some skeptics. So we chose not to present ourselves, our brand, if you will, as environmentalists, but rather feeding people. And as we know, I hear a lot more and more about the Buddhist beliefs. Everything relates to everything else. And as we feed people, we're benefiting the environment and we're creating jobs. So this is how we started. It's been truly amazing to me as we've heard more about Buddhist Global Relief, how closely aligned our missions are. And we're very grateful for the support that we've gotten over time. We tend not to do emergency relief, although that's very important in some situations. What we do is we take a long view. We want to not just give meals, but to give people the ability to feed themselves. So we take the long view, we plant trees, and we teach how to reap the fruit and how to feed people. We equally believe in the importance of education. So let's dive right in with some of the specifics. So the next slide shows some of the countries that we're in. We're in about 18 countries, mostly the Caribbean and Africa, with a bit of work that we're doing also in Asia. And not to repeat, but we give away trees, but we also teach the local people how to take care of the trees, and where we can find an entrepreneur, we teach them how to turn their trees into a business. And we're very happy. I'll share a couple of quick success stories as we go forward here with people that have taken to heart what we've encouraged them to do. We help individual farmers. We love the lady farmers as much as the men farmers. They focus very well. We help small cooperative groups. We also help large organizations to the extent we can. They kind of operate in different market segments. They don't compete. Rather, what we're trying to do is to build awareness at all levels in the communities where we work in these different countries about the benefits of agroforestry, agriculture, the ability for these smaller countries to feed themselves, as we know, is becoming increasingly important as climate changes. You know, in my naivety, I thought that the tropical countries would not be much affected by global warming. So if the temperature is 90 degrees and it goes to 92, that doesn't do any harm, right? But in fact, there's many more storms, there's more droughts, there's more flooding, there's just more extreme of all kinds of climate and all kinds of weather. Ironically, in the tropical countries where hunger is so common, a lot of these places have fertile soil, have adequate rainfall, and have people that are not afraid to work the soil. And so why can't they feed themselves better? So we thought, rather than complain about what's wrong with the world, we're going to do something about it, however modest. So that was our beginnings back in 2008, I think, about the same year Buddhist Global Relief got started. The next map shows the country where we probably focus the most, in Haiti. You've all heard about it. It's one of the poorest countries in the world. It's mountainous, many arid regions, very few areas, wet areas, good for agriculture, very poor quality soil. The people there, the poorer people, use charcoal as their energy source for cooking and for sources of energy. And so the country has been heavily deforested. So this is one of the places that probably needs more trees planted than almost anywhere else in this hemisphere other than pure desert areas. The population is about 11 million. The average income is about $2 a day. And so these are folks that really have to focus on food above all other kinds of needs. It has a rich history. It's the first republic. It's formerly a French colony, but they've been unfortunate with, I think, poor quality government over the years. There's been dictatorships. It's partially democratic now. And they're prone to disasters. There's a terrible earthquake in 2010, over 200,000 people killed. Within a couple of years, there was a major hurricane, a couple of major hurricanes since then. So they really kind of need help. The next slide is another map of Haiti, which is the western half of the island of Santo Domingo. But here's 4 entrepreneurs that we have helped. And we won't go through all the details here, but these are 4 different people where we've helped them to build little factories to process fruit locally. And then with these folks, this is the kinds of programs now that we're supported by Buddhist Global Relief. They produce products that we then distribute to schools and orphanages. So we give them trees, we give them equipment, and then in addition, we say, all right, we're gonna buy your food products, not forevermore, but for a while to get the business established. And then they distribute their food. And we'll talk about what they do specifically to schools and orphanages. We had one friend who were helping in the island of Jamaica made the comment, it's amazing what a little economic activity can do for a community. Their interest, their enthusiasm, all of a sudden there's money, there's a few jobs locally. It's just tremendous. Trying to benefit the environment, but helping with food, we're also helping with jobs. So you see all of these factors relate together. The next slide shows some of the specific orphanages and schools that we're helping in Haiti. The asterisks show the ones that we're helping with the specific current program supported by Buddhist Global Relief. I left out a couple of asterisks, sorry about that. But you can see that there's this tremendous need. What they're distributing, look at the picture in the lower right. We're going to talk about that young man in the red shirt in a moment. He's distributing a box of breadfruit flour, and that lady is the head of one of the orphanages in the town of Trou du Nord in the northeast part of Haiti. The picture on the left is a training session. There's another young man that we've helped, and he's in the town of Jeremy, and he's teaching young people there. He's leading a cooking school. At the top, there's another training session that you see pictured also in Haiti. So these are some of the places that benefits go to. What we do, we'll talk about in just a second. We pay a good price to these entrepreneurs so that they can make a profit and then reinvest in their business and find more customers of their own. The next slide gives some of the specifics of the support that we're getting from Buddhist Global Relief. This goes back, I think Kim mentioned, back to 2015. So we're extremely grateful for the support that we've been getting. The current program, we're giving away 1,800 pounds of breadfruit flour, which will translate to over 20,000 meals. They cook the breadfruit flour up in the school kitchen and feed kids a warm breakfast, a hot breakfast. Sometimes these kids are poor families. Sometimes that's the only meal that they get all day. A similar program in 2019, 2020, where we gave not only breadfruit flour, but some porridge mix, an instant porridge mix. And so they cook that up in 5 or 10 minutes and give the kids a hot breakfast. We also give away coloring books. I think we heard before about the benefits of education. Again, and taking the long view, a tree takes a long time to grow and a child takes a long time to grow up. In some countries in the Caribbean, when you have a new baby, you plant a tree. And so the tree grows and so does the child, and they progress together. Well, we need to nourish their little tummies with a hot breakfast first thing in the morning. Otherwise they can't concentrate, they can't learn. You can't focus on reading, writing, and arithmetic if your tummy is growling. But we're also feeding their minds. And so we developed a coloring book. And by the way, all of these good ideas came from my lovely wife, Mary. So she has to get full credit for this. She says, let's do a coloring book. I said, oh, you're crazy, that'll never work. Well, we've gotten rave reviews. So there's a young student, a young girl, holding up her coloring book, and it's Plant a Tree and Good Things Happen. The headline is in Haitian Creole, then it's in French, and also in English. So that book has 3 languages. They open it up and they color. We give away batches of these books, 10 at a time, with colored pencils, sharpeners, erasers, and a teacher's guide. It's trilingual. So as they learn more about the value of planting trees and the food that you get from it, the jobs that you get from it, the environmental benefits, the oxygen in the air, the retention of soil, habitat for small animals, shade in the schoolyard. I mean, we're enraptured by the benefits of trees. As they turn the pages of these books with the guide of the teacher, they're learning all about the long-term benefits of agriculture, agronomy, and food trees. The next slide gives a little bit more specifics. We won't spend too much time on it, but the price that we pay for the breadfruit flour, and let me tell you about a breadfruit, because we could actually go to the next slide now. A breadfruit, we don't have a picture of it, but it's a large fruit. It's probably about 6 inches in diameter. It's green on the outside, but it's starchy. When it's roasted, it's kind of like a potato. You wouldn't eat a potato raw, so you wouldn't eat a breadfruit raw. It's roasted or boiled or fried. It's starchy. It has a medium glycemic index. It lasts in your tummy for quite a long time. It's rich in carbohydrates, vitamin C, riboflavin, potassium. You could almost live on nothing but breadfruit. It's bulky, and so it's filling. It's not like a sweet fruit, like an apple or a mango. We do other kinds of trees as well, but we just happen to like breadfruit the most. It has a short shelf life when it's fresh. It's delicious, but short shelf life. So we've encouraged these young entrepreneurs to process it, to turn it into breadfruit flour. And so now all the nutrition is retained, but you have a versatile ingredient now to make cakes and breads and all kinds of things, drinks even, with a very long shelf life. So the program that Buddhist Global Relief is funding now is we buy breadfruit flour at $3 a pound, which is a little bit above market value. So we could kind of negotiate tougher with them, but we want to not do that. And so a pound of breadfruit flour or breadfruit porridge mix cooks up into about 10 meals. Some of the schools make, or bakeries make cantarettes, which is like a biscuit. We're going to show you a picture of that in just a moment. The kids love it, and it plays to some traditional foods that they are already comfortable with. They have a porridge called akasan. We give them a breadfruit porridge called verisan. They have cantarettes made with corn or wheat flour. We make it with breadfruit flour. And again, we already mentioned, we give the coloring and activity books. The next slide emphasizes how all of these different benefits tie together. The students benefit with nutrition, they benefit with education, but the teachers are happy. We've gotten all kinds of thank yous from teachers who say, the kids can focus now, they've had a hot breakfast, they can do their arithmetic or whatever. The parents love it. The cooks at the schools, we had an approach from one school chef who said, if we weren't serving these meals to the school children, we wouldn't have a job. So the interrelationship of all good things has come clear to us as we have worked over these last 10 or 11 years. The next slide, a couple more pictures, show some kids eating their breadfruit breakfast porridge, and they're proudly holding up pictures of their coloring books. They do about a page a week, and the teacher uses the page as the basis of a lesson plan to talk about different kinds of trees, fruit trees, the benefits that are derived from those fruit trees. We print the coloring books in Haiti rather than ship them, so there's even local, boosting the local economy in Haiti with the support that we get from Buddhist Global Relief. The next slide shows a picture of cantarettes, and one morning we had to get up very early to drive out to a remote part of Haiti, and the hotel, the small hotel we were staying in, we could get a cup of coffee, but no breakfast. Luckily, we'd got some conferettes the day before, and I can tell you they were absolutely delicious. So it's like a biscuit, and one of those is a good enough size that a young student finds that a good hearty breakfast. We were giving away conferettes, and then one of the leaders, the gentleman on the left in the picture, they actually prefer to get the flour because then it's more versatile. So we listen to what they want rather than what we think they want, right? And so we're giving them flour, and they can make many different kinds of delicious foods out of it, again, with tremendous nutrition. So next slide, the next 2 or 3 slides are a couple of quick thank yous that I wanted just to mention. Well, of course, we thank Buddhist Global Relief, but we get a lot of thanks. We get acknowledgements, I would say pretty much daily. So one of the thank you notes that we got, there's a group in Montouy, John and Dawn Ashford coordinate that, and we work with James and Pastor Emmanuel at the small church that they have there. And they're saying, thank you again for allowing us to distribute the breadfruit flour the way we did for the month of October. Time will tell when we can get to the outer areas. We won't read all of these, but we have just dozens. In fact, you know, we're benefiting other people. And I can tell you, Mary and I would say this, we have gotten tremendous benefit from the work that we have done in terms of sort of renewed faith in human nature. The people that we work with are volunteers for the most part, and they are filled with love. They're not wealthy people, but they're looking to help their fellow Haitians and the Jamaicans as well, and in the 18 countries where we operate. We can go to the next slide. Oh, the picture there was some dumplings made from breadfruit, just one more of the many products that can be made from breadfruit. The previous BGR program that we worked with also helped some schools in Jamaica. There's a small school in Jeffreytown, and we got a thank you note that says we appreciate the support. Breakfast cereal was delivered today, ready for the new term. So they get breakfast 2 or 3 days a week. That's the breadfruit porridge, and they look forward to it. And when school isn't in session, the kids come to school anyway to get breakfast. So it's really been gratifying. My last slide, or almost my last slide, got to tell you a bit of a story about the young man in the red shirt. His name is Charlotin Frednod, and he attended a seminar that we gave in Haiti about 4 years ago. Again, the education aspect. People, you know, the blindness and the prejudices that we see in the world mostly relate to a lack of education. Anyway, we did this seminar. Haitian farmers came from all over. We must have had, I don't know, 80 people there. And this tall, handsome young Haitian man comes up to us after the seminar. He didn't speak a word of English at the time, so we had to have an interpreter. We had said to people, you know, we're giving away trees, we're encouraging businesses, so we'll help you to start up a business. So he comes to me and says, through the interpreter, you said you would help people. I want you to help me to start up a business. And so I thought, well, we can't give away thousands of dollars worth of equipment to everybody that asks. So is this guy for real? So I said to him, send me a business plan. So he kind of nodded and went away. Well, a few weeks later, in the email, I gave him a business card. In the email, he sent a business plan. And remember, English is now his third language. So it wasn't, you know, the margins were crooked and the fonts, misspellings all over the place. But this business plan had all the elements that you would find in a Harvard MBA's business plan. So we gave him equipment. He's been producing breadfruit flour every month for the last 4 years with the equipment we gave him. We helped him to get expanded, larger capacity equipment. This is just a success story. I mean, we're as proud of this young man as if he was our son. And it's been just so gratifying to see where we're helping Haitians to help Haitians. So he's hired people, his whole community is energized because of a modest gift that we were able to provide, again, with support from Buddhist Global Relief and our other friends and supporters. Last slide just shows you how to get in touch with us. We're a charity based in the US, but we work all around the world. Just a mission that's tremendously closely aligned with Buddhist Global Relief, who we thank greatly for long-term support of what we do. So thanks for the opportunity to participate.
Thank you so much. Now Kim is going to introduce our next partner. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this. I hope you are all enjoying it too. Kim? Kim, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Mike, for the inspiring presentation. We appreciate it very much. Our next presentation is from the Art Creation Foundation for Children. Serving children and families in need in Jacmel, Haiti, the mission of the Art Creation Foundation for Children is to empower children to better their lives and their world through the arts and education. BGR has been partnering with HCFFC since 2015 to provide nutritious meals for children in need in Jacmel. And for many of these children, this program provides their only meal of the day and helps keep them in school. We're honored to be joined by Dr. Duke, Director of Operations of HCFFC. We're glad to have you here today, Dr. Duke.
Thank
you for joining us.
Thank you. If you would put up the slides, please.
Okay.
While that's happening, we do serve 44 underserved young people, and we employ 9 Haitian staff. We serve over 16,000 meals each year, and we have no overhead in the United States. Everyone who works with ACFFC in the United States is a volunteer, including myself. This last year, our staff and young people have faced ongoing unrest throughout the entire country. It's resulted in violence that closed our schools and businesses. And none of our children were killed, but several of their family members have been impacted because of this violence. Next slide, please. Many of these families live on $1 or $2 a day for the entire family unit. They live in concrete block single room structures with no running water or bathrooms. Most cook over open flames. Next slide, please. Our students have just returned to school from the violence when the COVID-19 made its way to Haiti, and the schools, businesses, ports, and airports were once again closed. This is a picture of one of our students' homes. Next slide, please. We provided food daily thanks to the Buddhist Global Relief Fund, which then allows us to offer tutoring at our foundation to keep educational skills active even during the shutdown of the country. We never missed a day of providing food for our youth. One young man said, "I know if I come to the foundation, I can eat. If I eat, I can study." This week, our students were finally able to finish the 2019 through 2020 school year. And we're getting ready November 6th to start the new school year. Next slide. We put on a new roof on our little gift shop near the ocean where we're teaching marketing skills. And these are our young people. They're like little monkeys up on the roof. I couldn't imagine being up there, but they wanted to learn this new skill as well. Next slide, please. We repaired our truck again. So if you have a spare truck around, let us know. We take the students to the river every week so that they can bathe, and we provide hygiene products for them. Next slide, please. We offer a new, we got a new generator because our electricity is even more sporadic than ever. And now we're having only maybe 4 or 5 hours a week of electricity. Next slide. Because of the restrictions of 10 people or less being together, our students eat in shifts. And when the violence was too great, we took bags of food to them. Next slide, please. When the cost of propane became so expensive and scarce, we accelerated our solar cooking program. We lined them up on the roof of the foundation. Using solar helped us to offset the huge increases in food costs and helped when we couldn't find propane, but more importantly, it made a positive impact on the environment. Next slide, please. This was done for several reasons: keeping our children out of harm's way, keeping them removed from the spread of the virus, and providing them with a way to have food to cook using the sun. And these food initiatives were made possible because of your support. Next slide, please. Because of our food programs, we are able to add a sewing program. If a young person can sew, that person can get a job. To date, next slide, please. The sewing program comprised of girls and boys have made over 1,500 masks, which they have given to our students, their caregivers. Next slide, please. And they went into the poorest sections of Jacmel, giving masks to people who otherwise would have no access to those items. They also created a Creole handout stressing the importance of hand washing, social distancing, and how to wear and care for their mask. Next slide, please. Because of the help of the Buddhist Global Relief Program to provide food to our 44 young people, we're also able to provide training in baking, solar cooking, sewing, silk painting. Visit us on Facebook, the Sew and Silk Project. They named themselves paper mache and mosaic. Where do we go from here? Well, because our students know they will receive a hot meal daily, they come to the foundation. Once they eat, then we can teach them other skills that will help them become self-sustaining adults. Our sewing team is now sewing aprons, which they will be sold, giving half to the sewing students and half to the foundation. We're starting 6 to 12 more students in the solar cooking program. In the coming months, our cook and assistant cook will lead this program. Next slide, please. Our paper mache, oh, we jumped a little ahead. Okay, that's fine. Our paper mache team was making turtles, birds, and fish. Our silk team is able to showcase their work for purchase at a monthly juried art walk in the United States. Let me say, these are teenagers who have overcome many other artists to be in a monthly juried art walk in the United States. They are that good. And they are only that good because they got food to eat every day. Because of you, we have 3 young people in college, and hopefully we're going to start 3 more of our students in advanced schools next year. 44 littles will continue their education starting November 6th. And our future goals include starting new programs in construction and mechanical skills. What are our greatest needs? Our food costs have skyrocketed. Propane is scarce, but because of all these, the grant that you have given us, all these other programs are possible. And we believe that your gracious belief in what we do to feed, teach, and train our young people is the future of the young people in Haiti. So if you'd go to the last slide, please. Follow us on social media. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And again, thank you so much for this privilege today in joining you.
Oh, Connie, those kids are such artists. They're amazing. I'm so grateful that we are able to help them. So thank you for showing us that. And Kim, thank you for telling us about our partners. Now, Gaylin is going to introduce someone else that we're
Carla,
going to.
Carla,
Yes,
I would like to make a final
sure.
comment.
And then Gaylin will be next, okay?
And then Galen will be next. Yeah. I hope, thank you so much, Dr. Duke, for the heartfelt presentation. I hope you enjoy the inspiring presentations from our partner organizations. I just want to share with you, my personal journey, so to speak. I joined Buddhist Global Relief in 2008 when the organization was first started by Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. And for 12 years now, I have witnessed miracles that your support has brought about in the lives of tens of thousands of women and children around the world. Whenever I read the report from our partner organization, there are times when I have tears in my eyes. Everything we have done to help the poor and hungry has been accomplished through your contributions. So thank you so much for your generosity, and we hope that you will continue to support our work and join us on this journey of Dharma, compassion, and love for the poor of the world. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Well, I'll leap in now, and I just want to add my comments too, that I was so moved by both of those presentations. Thank you so much, Mike, and thank you so much, Dr. Duke. That was just super moving. It's an honor to be involved. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Emily Botti, who is a representative of the Wesley Food Pantry at the Wesley Community Center. There she is. It's so nice to see you, Emily. I know of your work. One of our members, Marlon, has told me about it and works with you. So I'm eagerly looking forward to hearing more about what you're doing over there.
Thank you. And thank you so much for inviting me here today and for supporting the Wesley Food Pantry. Wesley Community Center has been in existence since 1904 in Houston. So we have over 100 years that we've been serving the Houston community. And what the Wesley Community Center does is we have many programs that help lift people out of poverty. We have been in the near north side of Houston, which is just north and east of downtown. And that is where we started, and that is where we continue to work out of. Our programs include, we start from the youngest and we go to the oldest. We start with 6 weeks old. We have an early Head Start program. We also have a pre-K program to get little ones ready for school. And we provide after-school care for elementary and youth in middle school as well. We have assistance programs, including rent and utility assistance and food assistance, which I'll talk more about shortly. We also have job training programs. Our Financial Opportunity Center offers training, and we also help people get jobs, do your resume, practice interviewing skills so that you can be successful. And then our financial coaching helps once you've gotten a job, how do you manage your finances and continue to succeed in your goals for your life. And then in normal times, we have a senior citizens program as well, where we have about 80 to 100 senior citizens who come to our center for breakfast, activities, fellowship with their friends, and also lunch. Unfortunately, during this time, we can't bring our seniors together, but we are able to deliver meals to our seniors once a week and check in with them to make sure that they're healthy and safe. And so we're glad that we're able to do that, even though we can't meet in person. Our food pantry has been in existence. It's probably one of our oldest programs because unfortunately there is a hunger problem here in Houston. And we offer emergency food for anyone who needs it. We don't restrict by zip code. So we're open to everyone in Houston who is in need. Also, I loved hearing about the planting programs, because we have a community garden on our food pantry site as well. So we have about 14 beds that volunteers help take care of. And the food that we grow in the pantry, or that we grow in the garden, we distribute in our food pantry. So that's really exciting to have fresh fruits and vegetables for the people who need assistance. So we serve about 1,000 to 2,000 households every month. And one of the things that's great about our food pantry is that it's a choice pantry, which means in normal times, people could come into our food pantry and select the foods that they and their family will eat. It gives our clients dignity and also creates less food waste. So things changed quite a bit for us in mid-March, when most of the city shut down for COVID, and we had to readjust how we do our work, and we were able to pivot and use a drive-through pantry model. So cars can drive up and we put a bag of groceries in their trunk and people can move along, and nobody has to come into too close a contact with each other. And that is a way to keep everyone safe while still offering food, because there was an increase in need. We're normally open 30 hours a week, but when the pandemic hit, we had to shrink our hours to 6 hours a week. But we are still serving just as many people in those 6 hours as we would in 30 hours before the pandemic. So we were glad that we were able to do that. And it led us to an update of our food pantry, which we installed a menu board similar to what you would see in a fast food restaurant. And that way our clients can have some choice in the food that they receive. So we can't pick everything, but we might say we have potatoes, carrots, and beets. And somebody will say, well, my family won't eat beets. Can I just get carrots? Or canned food, we have green beans, corn, and peas. And can I just get the green beans? So we just started this, we just finished the construction on this, and so we're just starting to use it, but we're really happy that we're able to give our clients choice again, because that's so important. I wanted to share a little story from one of our clients, and this was in April. I spoke to a woman who came to the pantry for the first time. She had been working in the same restaurant for 12 years. And that restaurant had to close because of the shutdown from the pandemic. And she had 2 young daughters who were now at home because school was closed. And she was worried about paying her bills, and food was one of the things that she was concerned about. She was worried how she was going to feed her daughters. And so she was very grateful to get food from the Wesley Food Pantry and be able to feed her family. And that was one less thing that she had to worry about at that time. And so that is why we are so grateful for the support of the Buddhist Global Relief Fund, because there are so many people in Houston right now who are struggling to make ends meet. And food is such a basic need that so many are needing right now. So we're so very grateful to you all for your support.
Thank you, Emily. It's a delight to hear from you. Now we have some time for some final words from our hosts in Houston, and then Bonte will finish up with a few words of conclusion. So Myoki and Galen.
Okay, or would you like to?
Sure. Thanks, everyone, for working to put this together. And I hope we will continue to raise funds for as long as this campaign is running across the country. Especially thanks to Carla and Kim for your work in helping us navigate the situation here. I'm so encouraged and appreciative of being able to see and really understand what Buddhist Global Relief is able to do, both overseas and in particular, especially now here in the Houston area. There's so much more that needs to be done. But as we are gathered and we continue to talk about these issues, hopefully more and more solutions will present themselves and more avenues will open up where we can take compassionate action as needed. So thanks everyone for participating. I look forward to seeing you all next year, and hopefully next year we'll be able to walk and drum together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I missed the drumming, and Mike, I see on the screen right next to you. So I missed the drumming as we walk down the Heights Boulevard. Really draws attention to our cause. I'd like to begin actually by thanking Myoke-san for joining in this hosting. And also I'd like to acknowledge Eileen. Thank you, Eileen Dwyer, because you were actually crucial in organizing our side of it. Thank you so much. I want to thank Bante for getting us all started, getting the whole Buddhist world focused on this important project. So our conscientious compassion, thank you so much for introducing that term, conscientious compassion. And may we all continue. May we all continue to stay interconnected like this. Unforeseen benefit of the Zoom program was getting to see more about your work in Haiti. So that's really beautiful. So may we all continue to find benefit even in these most challenging circumstances, and to remember that our primary focus is to help everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Venerable Bhikkhu Botti will now guide us in a short meditation and close with a blessing chant. And I just want to thank you all for coming. It's been really, really meaningful.
Before I start the meditation, am I able to share a picture that I found very
Sure.
touching?
I think you can share your screen, right?
I guess so.
Down
me
at the
try.
bottom.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and share your screen, Bhante.
Let's see where the picture Oh, it's getting to be a torment to find the file that.
I know we have so many pictures now. They're wonderful, though. I do love them.
Okay, let me try again. Okay. No. Do you see the picture now?
Yes, Bhante.
Okay, so this is.
Click on it and we will see it better, I think. Can you?
Do you see it?
We see a whole bunch of pictures, so it's hard to
Oh.
see. Yeah, if you could click on that one, maybe. I don't know. I'm a Mac user, so I don't know what your system is
Double-click.
like.
Do you see a picture?
Just we see the icon, we don't see the picture. So if you double click v2.c2.jpg, we'll see it.
Double click it. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Okay.
Does that help?
no.
Okay. Anyway, then I just give up on this. But anyway, I'll tell you, it's a picture of the group of the children from, this is Cameroon. There's a school that we support with school lunches in Cameroon. Oh, it's just so unfortunate that, let me stop the share and try again.
Yeah, try getting the picture open before you share.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, open it first. Yeah.
Now do you have it?
Yes,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay,
Love it.
okay. Yeah, the picture is worth 1,000 of my words describing it.
Beautiful.
Great.
So this is the school in Cameroon that we support. We work together. There's an organization in Cameroon called Sensudar, which is probably an acronym for a lot of things that they do. So it strikes me somewhat ironic that Cameroon, probably the Buddhist population there is probably close to zero. But here they have Thank You, Sensudar, and Buddhist Global Relief USA. We dream you.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's I find this very moving that a country like Cameroon, where there's almost no Buddhist population, but still we're able to help these school children to have their school lunches. Okay, so this gives us some idea for, I want to sort of close with a meditation of the practice of mudita, and this is a kind of altruistic joy where we're rejoicing in our own good deeds and rejoicing in the benefits that we're able to extend to others. So take a comfortable sitting meditation position. It doesn't have to be a strict position. We won't be doing intensive meditation. And just close your eyes. Mindfully breathe in and out a few times. And then let us extend our mind over the entire world. Bring the entire human population into the range of our mind. And then think of all of the millions and hundreds of millions of people living in extreme poverty, food insecurity, deprivation, having to work hard all day, even into the night, just for minimal subsistence. And look upon these people as though they were your own parents, your mother and father, or your own children, particularly the children, as though they are your own sons and daughters. Or brothers and sisters. And then let us send the mind to Cambodia, where a BGR project in collaboration with an organization called Lotus Outreach that works in Cambodia is providing food support to the families of poor girls, families from the poorest level of Cambodian society. Food support to those families on condition that they allow the girls to continue in school. And hundreds of those girls through this project have completed high school, and over 100 have gone to university. So think of these girls who are now studying in university. Some have already completed university, and rejoice that it is our work that has made that possible for them. Okay, now move the mind to India, to the Punjab. And in the Punjab, because of the difficult economic conditions faced by farmers, many thousands, hundreds and thousands of farmers, men farmers, have committed suicide, leaving their wives and children behind. And BGR partners with an organization called Building Bridges, which is providing vocational training to the widows in home agriculture and in decorative sewing and weaving so that they can earn a living to support their families. And so feel the deep compassion for these women who have lost their husbands and have the burden of their children to support. But also joy that through this partnership, we're able to help these poor women to earn a decent living to maintain their families. Okay, next we move further to Kenya in East Africa, where many farmers have been finding difficulty in cultivating their fields, their small fields, because of the changing climate conditions. Less rainfall, drier soils, depleted soils. And we have a partnership with an organization in Kenya which has developed an organic system of agriculture called bio-intensive agriculture. grow bio-intensive agriculture. And they are training Kenyan farmers, most of them, probably the majority, women farmers, to learn the system of agriculture so that they can cultivate their fields in the changing climatic conditions. So we rejoice both with the people who are running this training center and with the farmers who are learning these new techniques of cultivation to face the challenge of a changing climate. Okay, next, let us move our mind to Nicaragua, probably the poorest country in Central America, or at any rate, a very, very poor country, and where girls face many, many obstacles. But in Nicaragua, we've partnered with an organization which is actually based in the United States, but has been working for many years in Nicaragua. It's called the North Country Mission of Hope. And they are providing for the education, all of the educational materials, school fees, books, uniforms, as well as the health needs for something like 120 girls. And I think about 6 of them have already completed high school and have gone on to college. And so let us rejoice, even in spite of all of the obstacles and challenges and difficulties, of the opportunities that have been made possible for those girls. And then let us rejoice in all of the work that we've been doing together to make these transformations in lives possible. And I rejoice particularly in all of the hard work that our BGR team members put in, our staff members put in, pretty much every day of the week. We have Kim and Carla who are on the call. Mary Helen is always a very reliable helper, particularly with matters with graphics and newsletter preparation. Trisha, I think she might be on the call, is a very gifted writer. And I don't know if Val is on the call, but she is our artist, graphic artist. And then I rejoice in all of the cooperation and collaboration that we receive from other Buddhist organizations and also our partner organizations around the US and around the world in making these, we used to call them walks, these action events possible. So for just a couple of minutes, let's fill our hearts with this joy in goodness, joy in the power of goodness. when in the world and in this country, there's so much selfishness, hatred, antagonism, individualism. We rejoice in the recognition that to thrive, we have to overcome that selfishness, that narrow individualism, and work together to help each other and to work for the benefit and well-being of the world. So just silently for about a minute, just rejoice in the work that we are all doing together. Okay, I'm going to close with a blessing, invoking the spiritual power of the triple gem, the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, to bless all of us and to bless all of the people to whom the projects of Buddhist Global Relief have been helping. Sabitio vivajantu, sabarogo vinasatu, mate bhavatu antarayo, sukhi digayuko bhava, bhavatu sabba mangalang, rakantu sabba devata, sabba buddhanu bhavena, sadasoti bhavantu te, bhavatu sabba mangalang, rakantu sabba devata, sabba dhammanu bhavena, sadasoti bhavantu te, bhavatu sabba mangalang, rakantu sabba devata, sabba sanganu bhavena, sadasoti bhavantu te, devo vasatu kalena, sasa sampati hotu cha, pito bhavatu lokocha, raja bhavatu dhammiko. Okay, that is it. And again, thank you all very, very much. And please remember, we have to remind everybody that this is, I have to put it straight on the table, it is a fundraising event to ensure that these works remain possible. So please do donate and donate generously. We don't want people to overstretch themselves, but please remember that it's the donations that fuel the work and make it possible. So please bring forth the heart of dana and chaga, the heart of giving and generosity, and give not to support us, but to support the people that we are benefiting and helping through these projects. Again, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you all.
Bhante.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye, everybody. My husband's got lunch ready for me, so I'm going to be leaving. Bye-bye.
Okay, okay.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Galen,
Thank you,
Miyoki,
Kim.
our partners and Dharma friends. Thank you so much for attending the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bante. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Maybe
you.
next year I'll have a chance to go there.
Yes, we'll put it on the calendar.
Yes,
Okay.
look forward to it.
Thank you all, Dharma friends.
Thank you, Galen.
Thank you. People slowly going away. Thank you, Dr. Duke. That was so inspiring.
Yeah.
I want to buy some silk. I wrote it down. Sew in silk, Haiti. Adorn the temple.
Thank you, Dr. Duke and Michael.
Yeah, it was
And
great.
thank you to Galen and Yoke for being the co-hosts of this gathering.
The cleanup is going to be awesome. Usually we have to go around and clean up the whole everything after the walk, and now,
Yeah.
oh, it's so sad. I'd rather have that cleanup, but that's okay.
Was Dan here? Was Dan on the line?
I didn't see that he came on the line, so his responsibilities at his monastery are really great. But I will tell him that you asked about him.
Okay.
We miss him all the time.
Yeah, I
Yes,
understand
correct.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's getting that monastery underway. So he's
Is it
doing.
Long Beach, California?
It's near. It is in LA somewhere. I forget. So it's a Chan Zen temple over there.
Is he the abbot of that temple, Galen?
No, the abbot was trained at Shasta Abbey in California, and it's a huge Vietnamese community that practices together.
Oh, okay.
They also have a big branch in Houston, but they've started their monastery in California.
Is
Did
Dan
that-
a monk now? Galen, is he a monk now or no? No.
Not yet. No, he's discerning whether he wants to take full ordination, but he lives like a monk, but he hasn't actually taken ordination yet. So I'm sorry he missed this, but he'll be happy. He'll be proud
Okay.
of us.
Okay. Yeah, give him my best wishes and
Oh, he'll be
tell
so
him that
happy.
we missed him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Galen, please give our best to Eileen and Joy and the whole team at Houston Zen Center.
I will indeed. I will indeed. This
Big
is so
help. I'm so glad we
important.
come together for this event and help each other, Galen. Thank you.
Me too, Kim. I look forward to continuing to work with you for a long time.
Yeah, thank you, Galen. We're so happy to over Zoom to meet you.
So happy. And thank you, Mary Helen.
Yeah.
Okay, I will get off now so you guys can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I will leave also.
Thank you so much, Bante.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, May Helen, and thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
think
you.
Carla left.
Yeah, she said she had to go for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I will end the meeting for all. And
Okay.
thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
May Helen. Yeah.
Special thanks to Emily Botti. That was very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.